warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello. This is set 6, Programme for SM025. So the first question is on the topic vector. So this question had given us two line equations, L and M, one in vector equation representation and the other in parametric equation representation. So we know that line equation is R equal to A plus TV. So A is any point on the line, T is any constant. So here we have S and T, and then V is any vector on the line or parallel to the line. So we know that we have to find the intersection point and a plane that has the lines L and M. So the first part of the question, the easiest way to do is by changing the first line equation into parametric form. So once you have done that, you can just compare the x and the y's, or y with the z or x with the z, to form at least two equations because we have two unknowns s and t. So once you have done that, you're going to get 1 mark for forming the equations, and you're going to get another 1 mark for getting the value of s or t. So once you have done that, you can sub the value of s and t into the respective line equation, either m by using t or l by using s. So you're going to get 0, 2, and -1. So either one only. So you're going to get 1 mark. So you have to rewrite your answer. You have to conclude that your intersection point is 0, 2, -1. Once you have done that, you're going to get another 1 mark. You have to conclude this. Therefore, the intersection point is 0, 2, -1. So the next part, we need to find a normal vector to the plane. So we know that the plane has the line M and L. So we need to find n because plane equation is r dot n equal to a dot n. So we have to have a normal vector and a point on the plane. So the normal vector can be found by crossing the vectors of the lines. So you can either cross VM cross VL or VL cross VM. Either way is correct. So if you do VM cross VL, so you have to write in this form so that you get 1 mark. So how do we do this is by tutup this part and this part. So 2, -1, 1, 2. So you're gonna get for I. So if you want to find J, you have to tutup this part and tutup this part, the one that intersect with the J. So you're gonna get 2, 1, 1, 2. And if you want to get K, you have to tutup this part and tutup this part. So 2, 2, 1, -1, 2, 2, 1, -1. And then you have to remember that you have to do positive I, negative J, and positive K. So you'll get 1 mark. Once you have, you do 2 times 2 minus 1 minus 1. So you're going to have 5, -3J, -4K. So this is for when you do VM cross VL. So if you do VL cross VM, you're going to get -5I, +3J, +4K. So either way is correct. So you're going to get 1 mark for that. And you have to write your answer into the equation of plane. So you need to have a fixed point on the plane. So you can take either from the L or from the M. So 4, 6, 1 and IJK is the same. So here we use IJK. So once you write that in this form, you're going to get 1 mark. And then once you have solved the right hand side, you're going to get 1 mark. And once you do the left hand side, you're going to get a final J1. Okay? And then the next part of the question is on the topic random variable. So first thing first, you have to know that your function is actually continuous or discrete. So here, the lowercase, the PDF, is interval form. So this is definitely a continuous random variable. If not, if your x is equal to 0 and p, so that is discrete random variable. So you have to use the sum. So here, it's in interval form. So you have to use the -infinity to +infinity integral of that is equal to 1. So you know that the property is that you have to follow everything of the continuous random variable. So first they want us to show, so we have to show that the integral is equal to 1, and then we need to find p. We need to show p is equal to 2.52 by using the median equal to 2, and then we need to find the expectation. So first part of the question, we just need to integrate from -infinity to 0, 0 dx, 0 to p of the function, and then p to +infinity. So you don't have to write that. So you just integrate from 0 to p. So once you have done your integration, you're going to get 1 mark. And once you have shown your answer into 1, you have shown your answer is 1, so you're going to get 1 mark. And you're going to get the final 1 mark by concluding. So since the integral is equal to 1, therefore it is a probability density function. So it's not probability distribution function. So the next part, so we know that the median is m equal to 2. So we know that f of m, so the cumulative is equal to negative infinity to m, fx dx is equal to half. So median is half, and then we're going to use that to find the value of p. So 0 to m, okay, 0 because we have negative infinity to 0, 0 dx, 0 to m, because of the median is equal to half. So that when you sub into your function and you equate that into half, you're going to get 1 mark. And once you have done your integration and sub the value of 2 and 0, you're going to get 1 mark. And then once you have given your answer into 3 significant figure, you're going to get 1 mark. So you have to give your answer in 3 significant figure. So the next part is expectation. So expectation is the easiest. You just have to integrate from negative infinity to positive infinity x fx. So from x squared, we're gonna have x cubed. So once you have written 0 to 2.52, because p is 2.52, you're gonna get 1 mark. And then once you have written these two, integrate and sub the value, you're gonna get 1 mark. And then once you have written your answer, you're gonna get J1. For the next part of the question, it's on a distribution, and this one is Poisson distribution. By Poisson, you need to know how long the interval is, okay? So you have to be mindful of that. So this is for each month, okay? The lambda is 1.5, okay? So this first part is easiest. You just have to use the formula. And the next part is for 3 consecutive months. So you're going to times with 3. Okay, this is exactly 2. So x equal to 2 also. And then the next part is 6 months. So you're going to have to times this each month times with 6. And then same with this one. Okay, so this one, the number of Piecewise contracting this superbug. Okay, write down the distribution. So you just have to write the x Poisson. And then this one, at most. Okay, paling banyak pun 12. So it must be 0 to 12. That is less than or equal to 12. Okay, so this is a discrete distribution. So we need to know that we are finding the number of Piecewise in a month. So that is Poisson for Poisson 1.5. Okay, so first part of the question, exactly 2 p of x equal to 2. We're going to use the formula e negative lambda, lambda x, x factorial. So this is just the formula. And then you're going to get K1 for subbing into the formula and J1 for the answer. And then the next part is 3 months, but also x2. So you're just going to raise that to the power of 3. So you're going to get K1 for raising that and J1 for the answer. And then the next part is for 6 months. So you're going to do P of Poisson, x times 1.5. So you're going to get 9. So that is B1, bentuk 1. Okay, so you can't use the letter x anymore. You have to change into y because it's 6 months. Okay, so this is x for a month, y for 6 months. Okay, you have to change your letter. And then for at most 12 person, so we know that the table cannot read anything less, so it has to be in greater or equal to. So you know that we need we need less than 12. So what we're gonna do is 1, the entire probability, minus greater or equal to 13. That's why we do that. So we can read the table, and you're going to get K1 for reading the table and 1 minus, and then J1 for getting the answer. For the second question, so we need to show that this function, when it's integrated, we're going to get 6 ln 2 squared. So we have to know that this piecewise function needed to be integrated from -1 to 1 and from 1 to 4 using this function. And then we have to find this integral of this trigonometric function, and then we have to find the volume that is bounded by this function and the lines x equal to 1, x equal to 3. And we know that this is definitely going to be integrated in terms of x because it's rotated completely about the x-axis. Okay, so let's see the first part of the question. So we need to integrate. You know that you need to integrate in 2 parts because this is a piecewise function. So our bound is from -1 to 4. So it's going to pass through -1 to 1 using this function, and from 1 to 4 using the second function because this is for 1 to positive infinity. So you're going to get 1 mark for writing that only. And then before you do anything else, you have to know that your function, if your function can be directly integrated or need some method. Okay, so this one cannot be directly integrated because this is two functions. This is polynomial and exponential. This is logarithm, and this is a fraction and polynomial. So we need to use either substitution or integration by part. But for the first part of the integration, we need to use substitution because we can see that there is definitely some reduce in power, x squared and x, and we know that if we differentiate x squared, we're going to get x only. So we use substitution method for the first part, and for the second part, also substitution method because we see that there is ln, and whenever you see ln, you have to know that if it has a denominator, that is x, so you have to use substitution method because when you differentiate ln, you're going to get 1 over x. Exactly that is. So once you have done that, you have to also find the new limit, the new bound to the integral by substituting the value of -1. So u is equal to, the new u is equal to 2 -1 squared, that is 2, and then 2 1 squared, that is also 2, and then for this one is also the same. So you're going to sub 1, so ln 1 is 0, and then ln 4 is ln 4. Okay, so once you have done that, everything, you must make sure that everything is in terms of u. So once you have reached to that point, you can just integrate that function in terms of u. So eu is just eu, and then u will become u squared over 2. So once you have done that, you're going to get 1 mark for integrating the first part, and then another 1 mark for integrating the second part. Okay, in terms of u. So then, when you sub your value of 2, 2, and ln 4, 0, you're going to get 1 mark, or we know that this integral is going to give us 0. Okay, if you write 0 here, you're going to get 1 mark too, like here, complete 1 mark here. And then we're going to get 3 4 ln 2 squared over 2, and we're going to have 6 ln 2 squared. So you have to make sure that your answer is exactly as the question wanted. So 6 ln 2 squared shown. Okay, so this is the simplified version. You're going to get 1 mark for that. And then for the second part, it's on the trigonometric. Okay, so you have to remember that we only have the integration of sine, cos, and secant squared. So we don't have tan to integrate. So what do we need to do? We can use substitution method. So we know that we can differentiate tan. So when we differentiate tan, we're going to get secant squared. So we're going to let u as the hardest part, which is tan x minus 9 to the power of 6, and then let u, and then you're going to get this. And then you're going to get a expression that is completely in terms of u. You're going to get 1 mark for that. And then once you have integrated your answer, plus c, don't forget your c because you don't have any limit or any bound here. Okay, plus c, then you'll get 1 mark, and then your final answer as this, exactly this, you're going to get 1 mark as J1. You also have to show this part. Every time you do let u, you're going to have to show the let u. So, okay, for the next part, it's on volume. So you know that volume is pi fx squared dx. So you need to add the pi and then bound it from -1 to 3. So this one, you can do, you can expand. So this is x squared ln x over all squared. So we know that this is definitely two types of function, which is quadratic, polynomial, and this is logarithm. Okay, you have to use integration by part. So whenever you see two types of function in your expression, you're gonna have to use integration by part. So you let u by using L'Hopital. Okay, ln, polynomial, exponential, and trigonometry. Okay, so the first part you see that it's let u as ln because L'Hopital. Okay, and then dv as the rest of the equation. So you're going to have to let u as the entire part, not just ln x, and then the rest of it, which is x squared dx, as dv. And then you differentiate du and you integrate dv. So you're going to get 1 mark for this part, for writing your expression, and then you're going to get 1 mark for showing this part and this part. Okay, you have to show your integration by part. And then once you have written your answer, and you can see that the first part, okay, the function is uv minus v du. Okay, so you see that the first part is settled, but the second part still has the integration. So we need to do another integration by part. Okay, so we have 3 expressions in here. Okay, so once you have done that, you're gonna let u ln x, and then the same thing as x squared, because you can just simplify that part, and then you're gonna sub it into the integration by part formula. Okay, uv minus v du, and then you can see that there is no ln existed, and then you're gonna get 1 mark for showing that, and then you can get another 1 mark for subbing your values, and then you're gonna get 1 mark for your final answer. The third question is also one of the easiest, that is finding the approximate value of this integration by using trapezoidal rule. So trapezoidal rule is just a finding integral using some formula and some table, and you need to know if you have subinterval, you have been given subintervals or ordinates or strips. So subintervals are the same as strips, but ordinates is plus 1 of the subinterval. So here we have 4 subinterval, and therefore we have 5 ordinates. Okay, so the first part is finding h. So h is the biggest limit minus the smallest limit, or the bound. Okay, 1b minus a over the number of subinterval. So you're gonna get 0.5. Okay, that's gonna give you b1. Okay, and then when you do the table, okay, when you have written your table, so you have 4 subinterval, and now you have 5 ordinate, 1 2 3 4 5 ordinates. Okay, so how do you do that? From negative 1 plus 0.5, so you're gonna get negative 0.5, and then plus another 0.5, you're gonna get 0, and then plus 0.5 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1. Okay, so you just need to sub all these value into the function. Okay, only the y. So 1 over negative 1 cube plus 2, you're going to get 1. And this are also the values, the respective values. Okay, you need to separate the first and the final one, and then you add these two, so 1.33, and then the rest of them, you're going to add them. You're going to get 1.50392. Okay, so that's going to give you another K1 and G1 for having all this value correct, the entire table correct. And then you just need to sub all the value into the formula. Okay, the formula is the easiest. You don't have to remember because it's going to be given. So it is h over 2 plus the first part, the first sum, plus twice of the second sum. So that's going to give you K1 by just writing down the values, and then another J1 for writing down the answer. Okay, remember to give an extra decimal place whenever you do your calculation before your final answer. Okay, they need 4 decimal places, so you need to give extra before your final answer. Okay, and for the next question, it's on the topic first order differential equation. We need to show that our integrating factor is secant x, and then we need to find a particular solution by using the values of y equal to 2 and x equal to pi. So first part, before anything else, you have to make sure that your expression, your equation, is in the form of dy dx plus y px y equal to qx. Okay, so this expression is already being arranged. So you just need to extract out the px. So the px is this. So we need to show that px can make an integrating factor secant x. So first thing first, we take out the px. Okay, so the integrating factor is exponential integral of the px. And then we cannot direct integrate tan. We can only do for secant squared, cos, and sine. So what do we do about tan? Is we change it to sine over cos, and then we let the denominator as u. Okay, when we let u, so du dx is equal to negative of sine x dx. Okay, so negative 1 over cos x is negative ln x. So when we integrate negative 1 over u du, you're going to get ln u, negative ln u. Okay, so that ln u is now negative ln cos x, and then we know that we can bring this negative as a power. So this power is now belong to cos x. So it becomes 1 over cos x. Okay, so it becomes cos x to the power of negative 1. So this is 1 over cos x, and we know that ln of anything is equal to that anything, okay? So E ln x is equal to x, so that becomes 1 over cos x. And we know that cos x is 1 over cos x is secant x. So that's your answer. So you're going to get 1 mark for changing from tan to sine over cos, and then you're going to get another 1 mark for integrating it, and then J1 for showing that it's equal to secant x. And then we're going to use that integrating factor to find the particular solution. So we need to multiply the integrating factor on both sides, okay, secant x, and secant x. And then you have to rewrite that d dx y integrating factor, and then we just need to take the right hand side. So need secant x 1 over cos x, so you're going to be left with cos squared x, and then we can move this one to the right hand side and then integrate both sides. Okay, you're going to integrate dy secant x, integrate cos squared x dx, and then you are left with this, okay, product root and integrate, okay, and then this part right here is done, and you need to integrate cos squared x. You have to use double angle to change this squared to cos 2x plus 1 over 2, and then baru boleh integrate. Okay, once you integrate, you're done integrating with the plus c, you're gonna get 1 mark. Okay, you're gonna get 1 mark for changing this to double angle, and then you're gonna move the secant to the right hand side. Okay, and then you're gonna get J1. Okay, don't forget to add bracket because you are moving this one to the right hand side, so everything right here needs to be multiplied with the cos x. Okay, that's gonna give you J1. Okay, since the question wanted a particular solution, so we need to use the value of x equal to pi and y equal to 2 to find the value of c. Okay, once you sub, we're gonna get negative 2 and negative pi over 2, and then we're gonna resub that one. Okay, you'll get 1 mark for that, and then you're gonna sub the value of c into the general solution that you have before, and then this is your particular solution, and then you're gonna get J1 for writing the particular solution with no unknowns, no c at all. For the fifth question, it's on the topic random variable. So like I said before, you need to know if your random variable is discrete or continuous. So this is on a spinning wheel, so with the number 1, 2, and 3. So this is definitely a discrete random variable because the numbers are discrete. It's not in interval form. So you know that you have to use all the formulas in the discrete random variable. But now, the questions say that the spinning wheel will stop at each of the number with the probabilities as shown. So these probabilities are equal to 1. But now, our random variable x denotes the sum of the two numbers, meaning when the wheel is spun twice, we need to add both numbers, okay? Then we need to find x is now the sum of the two numbers. We need to find x equal to 3, and then we need to make the table, and then we need to evaluate the probability of x minus the expectation. So we need to find the expectation first. So first thing first, we need to find the complete probability, the complete random variable. So you know that the sum of two numbers is going to give us, okay, so this is the first span, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and then the second span with the first span and the second span. So 2, 1, 2, 2, and 2, 3, and then 3, 1, 3, 2, and 3, 3. So the sum of that, so the sum of all that is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you have to kumpul based on the sum, okay? Or you can do the table, the graph, like 2 plus 2, 1 plus 1. And then we know that, so we need to find the probability by multiplying the probability. So we know that the probability of, we need to find x equal to 3. So we know that x equal to 3 is this one and this one. So we need to times the probability from before. So the before is 0.55, 0.2, and 0.25. So that is for the 1, 0.55, and then for the 2, 0.2, plus with the second one, okay, 0.2 times 0.55. So you're going to get 0.22 as the probability of the sum of two numbers, okay, when x equal to 3. So that's going to give you K1, and that's going to give you J1 for the final answer. So you have to show. And then we do the rest of the probability to make the table. So you need to show each and every step of your multiplication and addition. So you need to add bracket here. Okay, don't forget your bracket here. Okay, and then you're gonna get all these probabilities. So let's say if I want to have the probability of 5 from spinning twice and getting 2 and 3. So you're gonna times, you're gonna have to multiply with 0.2 and 0.25 based on this table, okay? And then once you have done that, you find all the values and put it in the table. You're gonna get 1 mark for finding all the values, and then you're gonna get 1 mark for completing your table, okay? So this is your table, okay? So you're gonna have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? This is your probability table. And then we need to find the probability of x minus the expectation. So first thing first, we're gonna have to find the expectation. So expectation is the easiest. So the sum of x times the probability. So x is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So times with the probability. And then we're gonna get 3.4. Okay, that's gonna give you K1. And then the probability of the modulus. So you know that when it's less than, so this is smaller. So meaning x is less than 1. Okay, you can sub the value of the expectation that you have gotten before, and then you can open this to the on both sides, which is negative 1, 1. You can only open this on both sides, which is negative 1 and 1 when it's less than or equal to. And then you're gonna move the 3.4 to the right and to the left. You're gonna get 2.4, 4.4, and then you know that the exact value that is in between 2.4 and 4.4 is 3 and 4. So that is probability of 3 plus probability of 4. So you just need to add the 2. Okay, you're gonna get 0.535. So that's gonna give you 1 mark once you open the modulus, and that's gonna give you 1 mark for adding the probability of 3 and 4, and another 1 mark for your answer. For this question, it's on random variable too, but this time around it's continuous random variable because your little f, your lowercase f, is now in interval form. And then we need to show that the value of c, this constant, is 1 over 486, and we need to find the cumulative distribution function. So you need to write that in a piecewise function, and then you have to find the probability that a customer will queue longer than 3 minutes. So longer meaning longer than 3 minutes, meaning 3 greater than 3, because longer than 3 doesn't include 3. And then we need to find the probability that the customer will be queuing at least 7 minutes. So sekurang-kurangnya 7 minit. Maksudnya 7 minit dan lebih, greater or equal to 7. If you remember, anything with if given is conditional probability. So we have a condition greater or equal to 7, given meaning palang, the customer had been queuing for longer than 3 minutes. So greater or equal to 7, palang, greater than 3. And then we need to show the median satisfy this expression, this equation. So it's easy because it's now continuous. So first thing first, we know that continuous random variable, the integral of everything is equal to 1. So we're going to use that integral of everything equal to 1. So the only function that we have is this one. So we need to integrate from negative infinity to 0, 0 dx, so 0 to 9, that expression, and then plus 9 to positive infinity of 0 dx is equal to 1, so that's going to give you 1 mark. If you don't write the 0 dx, it's fine. And then once you have done your integration, so this c is now a constant, so you can take it out of the integral, and then you can integrate this bracket like usual, and then you're going to sub 0 to 9. Okay, you're gonna get sub 9 and 0. Okay, equal to 1, still equal to 1. And then you're gonna solve this left hand side. You're gonna get 486. And then c is equal to 486. So that's gonna give you 1 mark. Okay. And for the next part, we need to find the CDF. Okay, for the CDF, it's the easiest because this is a one function, continuous random variable. So you just need to integrate for negative t, negative infinity to 0. Okay, so that function is 0 dx. And then for the function 0 to 9, okay, you just have to follow this. Okay, you're gonna get f0, so f from before, which is 0, plus with the function from 0 to t. From 0 to t, from negative infinity to t, the function is 0. From 0 to t, the function is 0, 0 to t, the function is that function. the previous function, and then you have to integrate like usual, but from 0 to t. So now you're going to have this part, okay, you're going to get k1 for completing that, and then the final part is from 9 to t. So 9 to t, f of 9, so you have to sub 9 here, okay, you're going to get 1 plus with the 9 to t. So 9 to t is 0 dx, so that's going to give you 0. So you're going to get 1 as the final cumulative, okay? And therefore, you have to conclude that your cumulative function is this, okay? So you have to put your answer in a piecewise function because the question wanted cumulative distribution function, okay? So you have to conclude and combine it all, okay? And then for the final part, for the second final part, so they say that the customer is queuing longer than 3 minutes. I don't think 3 minutes or 3 hours, I don't remember. But, okay, longer than 3 meaning tak termasuk 3, lebih daripada 3. So we need to do 3 greater or equal to 3. But since we already have our cumulative, so we're going to use our cumulative to do this. Okay, you can direct integrate, but it's easier to use a cumulative. So cumulative is probability less than or equal to. Okay, so we know that f3 is equal to pt less than or equal to 3. Okay, and then you just need to sub the value of f that you have gotten from before, t minus t cube, and then you're going to get 14 over 27. Okay, it's better for you to put your answer in fraction form rather than in decimal places. And then you're going to get k1 for subbing the value, substituting the value of 3 into your cumulative, and then your final answer. And then for the next part, with the conditional part, okay, this is how you write it. And then you know that P of A given B is equal to P of A intercept with B over PB. Okay, this is exactly the one from above. Okay, how do we get from this part to this part is you just need to do a number line. So T is greater than 7, so 7 and more. And then you have 3 is greater than T is greater than 3. So that is 3 and more. So the intersection between that is 7 and more. Okay. So we are left with t greater or equal to 7, and then you just need to find the value by using the cumulative. So you know that greater or equal to 7 is 1 minus f7 because we need to have the equal there, so you need to make the boxes, and then 1 minus f7 over p of t greater than 3 you have from before, and then you're going to get 0.1323 for the answer. Okay. And then we know that they say that we have to show that the median is equal to that, some sort of expression. So you know that Fm, okay, the median is cumulative, half of the cumulative, okay. So now change it from the t to m, because we only have one function, so definitely the median is going to be in the middle of the function, okay, of the cumulative function. So we changed now t to m. So when you equate that cumulative to half, you're going to get 1 mark. And once you have simplified the expression, you're going to get k1, these two parts. And then when you show your answer is exactly the expression, you're going to get j1. Okay? For the final part of this section, so it is on a special distribution, but we need to know if it's normal, binomial, or Poisson. Okay, so those three distributions are distinct, very distinct. They are very different. So for this part, they say that the local fruit will be rotten after arriving at a destination. So this is the probability that it will be rotten. So you know that rotten, not rotten, left or right. So anything that has contrast, complete contrast, it is a binomial. So this is binomial distribution. Okay, so now our success, what the question wanted is the rotten fruits. Okay, so they say that the consignment will be rejected if the sample that is inspected contains more than 10%. Okay, so 10% of the rotten local fruit. So we have a sample size of 40 dragon fruit. So we need to find the particular consignment that will be accepted. So now, okay, 10% ni adalah kita akan reject kalau dia melebihi 10%. Okay, so melebihi 10% meaning kita akan accept kalau dia adalah fewer than 10%. So we need to know that this 10% berapa banyak dragon fruit yang ada. So 10% So you know that X is the number of rotten fruit, okay? So we have 40 sample space and our success is the rotten fruit, okay? That is X binomial, so you need to write this part, okay? So we know that kalau dia greater than 10%, so we need to find that 10% tu ada berapa number of fruit. So that is 4. So dia kata it will be rejected kalau dia lebih daripada 10%, meaning lebih daripada 4, tapi dia akan be accepted kalau dia adalah less than or equal to 4. Okay, so kalau will be accepted, okay, rotten fruit, the number of rotten fruit is less than or equal to 4. Okay, so this is easy. So this binomial can be read from the table because this is less than 50, this is less than 0.5. So this can be directly read from the table, but we need to make sure that our X is greater or equal to, so we change from X less than or equal to 4 to 1 minus P of X greater or equal to 5. And from the table, so you're gonna get 0.7367 and then you're gonna get 0.2633. So you're gonna get K1 for writing this, and then another K1 for reading the table, and then J1 for your answer. And then for the next part of the question, it's in another consignment. So kita ada 1,200 fruit. So now the number of n is too big, and so you know that if the number of n is too big, you're gonna use a approximation, okay, binomial approximation. So you need to do a continuity correction. So now your distribution is now changed from binomial, okay, 1200 to normal, and to do that we need to have mu and sigma square. Okay, so mu is np from binomial, so you're gonna get 180, and then sigma square is 153, np and q. So q is a failure, so the failure is not the rotten fruit. Okay, so 1 minus p. Okay, you're gonna get b1 for writing this part down. Okay, so you know that the question wanted probability that 150 to 200. So daripada 150 sampai 200. So include. Okay, so this is how you write that. So include and include. So for the continuity correction, you must know that. So this is including 150 and including 200. So continuity correction is the easiest. Kalau dia dah include, so you have to take a value that doesn't include the number. So 150, 149.5. So this one is also included. So you need to take the number that is not included within the interval that you have. Okay. So you're going to take 200.5. Okay, let's see if I change this to 150 less than, there's no equal. So bila dia tak include, okay, tak include 150, so you have to take a value that's included within your interval. Okay, so 150.5. Okay, if I change this to, if I don't have this equal right there. Okay, so this is your continuity correction. Okay, and then you have to change from normal to standard normal. So to do that, it's x minus mu over sigma. Okay, so once you have used that formula, you have to change from x to z. So this is now becoming standard normal. Okay, once you have reached that, okay, you need to draw the bell shape, and then we need to know that this is in the negative side. So let's say this is your bell shape, so it's on the negative side and positive side. So to get that, you need to you can either split or you can minus 1 minus this and this. Okay, 1 minus the left but with the negative, without the negative, and then this is z besar, and then z greater than 1.66. Okay, and then from the table you're gonna get this, and then you're gonna get J1 for 0.9447. So you're gonna get 1 mark for doing the continuity correction, another K1 for changing it to standard normal, and then K1 for doing this. Okay, you know that you need to minus what with what, and then you're gonna get K1 for reading the table, and another J1 for your answer. Okay, so it's easy. So the last part of the question, it's the maximum number of rotten fruit. Determine the maximum number of rotten. So sekarang n kita adalah unknown, okay, but the probability that consignment will be accepted is 0.9656. Okay, kita tahu dia akan rejected kalau besar daripada 10%. So sekarang kita tahu the probability of less than is equal to 0.9656. So since this is a binomial and we're going to change it to normal, so we need to do continuity correction. So this is less than or equal to n. So if it's a value that includes, so we need to make a continuity correction that doesn't include that number, which is n plus 0.5. Okay, so you're gonna get K1 for that, for doing the continuity correction, and then you're gonna get another K1 for changing from binomial to normal. Okay, standard normal. So that's x minus mu over sigma. And then you need to know if this value, let's say this is alpha, if a positive value or a negative value. So let's say you have a bell shape like this. Okay, so we need to know, so this is the middle, so we need to know if alpha is here, negative value, or a positive value. So let's say that we think that alpha is a negative value, so the region, the shaded region, is right here. Okay, it's too small. If alpha is a positive value, less than, so it's a bigger value, so it matches this. Okay, so this is a bigger value, so we know that alpha is a positive value. So to find the probability there, okay, to read the table, we can do 1 minus this region, this small region that we don't want. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, from less than to greater than, and then you're gonna do it like usual, and then you're gonna reach this point, you're gonna get 1 mark, and then you're gonna read from the table, okay, anything that matches with 0.0344, okay, and you found that from the table, z greater than 1.82 is equal to 0.344, and then we're gonna compare 1.82 with this to find the n, and then once you compare that, you're gonna get K1, and once you have gotten your value of n, you're gonna get G1 for that.